Most men don't realize this, but one of the most repeated dating rules online is actually hurting them. You've heard it everywhere. Don't chase. Let them come to you. Sounds confident. Sounds powerful. But here's the truth. Almost nobody says out loud. This rule only works for men who already have women interested in them. For everyone else, following it blindly doesn't look like confidence. It looks like disappearing from the dating world completely. Most men grow up hearing the same dating advice repeated everywhere. Don't chase women. Let them come to you. It sounds powerful. It sounds confident, and on the surface, it feels like something only strong, high-value men do. But the truth is far more complicated. And this truth is the reason so many men are quietly struggling in dating without understanding why. The idea of not chasing only works when a man already has something that naturally draws people toward him. When he's attractive, confident, socially skilled, or carries himself like someone who knows his direction in life, he doesn't need to chase. Opportunities find him. People notice him without him trying. Women are drawn to him without him sending 10 texts or constantly proving himself. In that situation, not chasing is not a strategy, it's simply his reality. But when an average man hears the same rule and tries to copy it, something completely different happens. He stops approaching, stops starting conversations, stops showing interest, and assumes that being unavailable will magically make him look confident. And then nothing happens. No dates, no invitations, no messages, no interest. Just silence. He thinks he's being mysterious, but he's actually becoming invisible. This is the mistake so many men make. They use a rule designed for high-demand men, while they themselves have never built any demand. It's like someone without a job trying to negotiate like a CEO. They don't have the leverage to pull it off. Attraction works like a balance of value. When one person wants something more than the other, the dynamic shifts. A man who chases too hard signals that he values her more than she values him. But a man who refuses to chase at all, without having any options or confidence to back it up, sends a different message. He looks passive, unmotivated, or uninterested. That's why the dating world often feels unfair. The same behavior looks confident on one man and looks careless on another. Women respond differently because they don't react to the actions, they react to the man behind the actions. The painful truth most people avoid is that appearance, confidence, lifestyle, emotional maturity, and ambition all influence attraction. A man who invests in himself gains advantages without even trying. He gets noticed more. His presence feels stronger. He doesn't need to play games. If he stops chasing, women still check his stories, reply to his posts, or initiate conversations. He has what people call pull, but a man who hasn't built that level of pull yet can't use the same rules and expect success. It's not about self-worth, it's simply about how the world responds. Many men overestimate where they stand. They tell themselves they are high value because they think positively or repeat affirmations, but they don't actually live in a way that raises their value. They want a woman who takes care of her health while they haven't gone to the gym in years. They want a loyal woman while they don't even trust themselves with consistency. They want a stable partner while their own life is still full of chaos. They want someone extraordinary while they haven't worked to become extraordinary. And so when they try to use dating strategies meant for attractive or well-developed men, those strategies backfire. But none of this is meant to shame anyone. It's meant to wake them up. Unlike traits like height or bone structure, value is not a fixed number. A man can raise it, and raising it changes everything. When you improve your fitness, you look more disciplined and grounded. When you dress better, people notice you before you speak. When you build a stronger mindset, you stop acting from fear or desperation. When you build financial stability, you naturally become more confident because you know you can take care of yourself. When you create a life you're proud of, people want to be part of it. Real confidence is not built from saying you're valuable, it's built from living in a way that proves it. The truth is this: attractive or high-value men don't rely on certain dating rules because they don't need to. They act from abundance. They have options. They have inner strength. They're not afraid to be alone. They don't chase because they don't have to. And most importantly, women pursue them because their lifestyle, personality, and presence feel rare. When you become that kind of man, you won't need to worry about chasing either. You won't need to force anyone to stay. You won't need to beg for attention. People will naturally gravitate towards you. The energy will be completely different. But until then, refusing to initiate or avoiding effort won't make you look confident. It will only keep you stuck. Making the first move is not weakness. Showing interest is not desperation. Trying is not chasing. Trying is simply participation. Growth happens not from hiding, but from taking action. The men who actually succeed are the ones who work on themselves while also being willing to step forward and show interest when it matters. And here is the part that brings everything together. When you finally improve to a level where you no longer fear rejection, where you are proud of who you are, and where your life feels meaningful even when you're alone, that's the moment when you naturally stop chasing. Not because you're following a rule, but because you truly don't need to. You're not avoiding effort, you're simply choosing from a place of strength. And that is the kind of man people remember. In the end, the goal isn't to avoid chasing. The goal is to become the man who doesn't need to. Because when you upgrade yourself, your presence speaks louder than any strategy. You won't need to play hard to get. You won't need to hide your feelings. You won't need to follow confusing dating rules. The right people will see your value because you've built it, lived it, and embodied it. And that's when dating becomes effortless, because real attraction always finds the men who create a life worth being part of.